ceṣṭamānaṃ śarīraṃ svaṃ paśyatyanyaśarīravat saṃstave cāpi nindāyāṃ kathaṃ kṣubhyenmahāśayaḥ. A great-souled person watches his own body acting as if it were another's. As such, how should he be perturbed by praise or blame? We talked about Anyani beyond the praise and blame in the previous verse. This verse also echoes the same sense, with an added expression of Anyani seeing his own body as if it were some other's body. Body includes all, body, mind, senses, everything. Here is one of the greatest secrets of ancient spiritual practices in the East. The yogis, renunciants, and ascetics of ancient India used a simple but effective technique to gain control over their desires and emotions and to cultivate dispassion and detachment. They looked at themselves as if they were looking at someone else. By that, they were able to center themselves in the witness consciousness and become absorbed in it. Since the self is considered to be the inner witness, Atma Sakshi, it made perfect sense to engage in this practice to cultivate detachment from the mind and body and experience self-absorption, samadhi. In samadhi, your physical personality becomes completely silent. All the mental formations disappear into the void, leaving the self to shine in its pristine glory. Our scriptures affirm that the soul does not participate in the activities of the world or of the mind and body. Instead, it looks upon them as if it is watching a play. The soul enjoys everything that happens, the good as well as the bad, the joys as well as the sorrows, without being affected by them and without partaking any of their nature. The ancient seers emulated the self to become the self by detaching themselves from their minds and bodies. They strove to overcome all forms of attachment to their names and forms, looking upon themselves as if they were watching strangers. It helped them mentally grow apart from their physical identities and move closer to their spiritual selves by withdrawing their senses and minds from the external objects. Coming to a normal jiva, ego is a major obstacle for human beings in the path of liberation. Everything is a means for this ego to further itself, to expand itself, to project itself rather than expanding. Expanding may be positive. Ego projects itself. It relies upon both good and evil according to its convenience. The ego is boosted by praise and deflated by blame. It is subject to attraction and aversion or likes and dislikes according to its desires and attachments. Our name and form create our identity in the world. This identity is the foundation of our ego. It is always interested in preserving the name and form because with that it can relate to the world and pursue its desire for self-promotion and self-preservation. In Hindu spiritual practices, the yogis are encouraged to overcome their attachment to name and form and worldly possessions. Thus, when one takes diksha from his guru, the attachment to name is resolved as he is given a new name during the initiation so that he can disconnect from his past and make a new beginning. However, just foregoing the name or the family name and wearing the robes of a monk does not ensure that one becomes a true renunciant. The change has to happen at all levels. The transformation must be complete. The idea must take a firm root in the mind so that detachment from one's past identity and worldly self is complete, and one becomes accustomed to a nameless, self-effacing life of sacrifice and hardship. All the realized masters who are above board, like Sri Ramana, Sri Chinmaya, Shivanandaji Maharaj, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and few others, they indeed looked upon their body as if it was someone else's body. If they had treated their body and the disease which the body had, all of them had something or the other, paralysis or cancer or something, heart problem, etc. If they had identified themselves with their body, how could they have carried on their mission, even with their ill health or serious health issues? Sri Chinmaya used to roar in Bhagavad Gita Jnana Yajna when the doctors confirmed that his heart was functioning only at 25% level. Same is true for any master whose body had to undergo issues due to the past prarabdha. They are all standing testimony to us, to the spiritual seekers, as to how one must treat their body as something different or somebody else's body, and to treat themselves wholly and purely as self, Atman. Few words from Chinmaya's commentary on the verse. As the pure self, he is the awareness not only behind the perceptions, emotions and thoughts, but also of the every equipments of the body, mind and intellect. He stands ever as a witness of himself, the subject and its world of experiences. This attitude can be only demonstrated if the student can imagine a unique condition wherein, while his dream is continuing, he happens to maintain his waking consciousness. As a waker, he knows that he is dreaming, and from this higher state of consciousness, he could witness the dreamer in him, dreaming his own dream world, projected by his own imaginations. In these verses, Ashtavakra is enumerating the attitude and behavior of a man of perfection. In fact, the theme in the song of Ashtavakra is the glory of the man of perfection, a hymn to the God-man, playing to the finite world amidst its crowds of miserable mortal entities. Hari Om Tat Sat.